With the scams, the traffic, the trash, the crowds, and the horrible sidewalks in Mexico City, why on earth would you want to visit? Find out here. Today, I'm going to share 10 reasons why I love Mexico City. Hey, it's Sarah. I've lived in Mexico for 10 years and I am your guide to authentic travel and experience in Mexico. Make sure you grab my Explore Mexico City cheat sheet down below. The first reason why I love Mexico City is the weather. I lived on the Gulf Coast of Mexico for about 4 years, and as I explained in a previous video, I sweated my teeth off in the Gulf Coast. Some people love it, not for me. I also lived in Pennsylvania for 10 years of my life, where I froze to death and had seasonal depression for about half the year. The average temperature in Mexico City year-round is around 75 degrees Fahrenheit with very low humidity. So you don't have any of that weird head fog that happens when you have a lot of cloud cover all the time. You're not freezing to death, and you don't even really need an air conditioner for most days of the year. So the weather in Mexico City is absolutely beautiful. The second reason why I love Mexico City is the food. You probably knew I was going to talk about the food. There's the pambazos, the tacos, the tortas, the tamales, the chilaquiles, the pozole, esquites, and of course the mangoes. And this is just to name a few of the amazing foods in Mexico City. There's so much variety in Mexico City because so many people come from various parts of the country and even various parts of the world. So the food scene in Mexico City is wonderful. What's your favorite Mexican food? Comment below. The third reason why I love Mexico City is every day is a new adventure. You can live in Mexico City your entire life and still not discover all there is to see and know. You'll always be finding new little cafes, restaurants, art galleries, museums, and just cool little buildings to take pictures of. The amount of new things and just the variety is just endless. It makes for a very exciting experience in Mexico City. Did you know that Mexico City is arguably the city with the most museums in the world? Keep your camera on and keep your eyes open the whole time that you're in Mexico City because you never know what you're going to see to take great pictures of. The fourth thing I love about Mexico City is the trees. You probably didn't expect me to say that because we're talking about one of the biggest cities on earth. But there are some really beautiful trees in Mexico City. I love the jacaranda trees, which you can especially see in Alameda Park. And I really love those big palm trees that look like giant pineapples. These trees make me smile every time I see them. If you want to see Alameda Park and where it is, exactly how to get there, make sure you check out my video up in the cards after you watch this one. The fifth reason I love Mexico City is the prices. I mean the prices of absolutely everything. If you want to be frugal in Mexico City, you can. For example, our anniversary dinner was at one of those Brazilian steakhouse restaurants, you know, the really nice one where they bring you all the meat you want on a stick. For two of us, and including a drink, an alcoholic drink for myself, it was about $50, and that included tip. It used to be less, but the Mexican peso is actually really strong right now, so the prices, when you compare it to US dollars, are a little bit up, but still, that's an amazing price. The average sit-down meal in Mexico City is going to cost around $10 or $12 per person, and you can get into most museums in the city for under $5. Are you looking for a tour guide to help you with your trip to Mexico City? Check out our packages at senorasarasclassroom.com. The sixth reason I love Mexico City is the variety. And I don't just mean the variety of food. I mean, there's an abundance and a variety of food, but I also mean the restaurants, the people, the things to do, the things to see. You can find anything that you want in Mexico City. I still haven't found blow your mind amazing sushi, but if you know where that is, comment below. Most of you probably aren't visiting Mexico City for the sushi anyway. I used to live in a small town in Veracruz on the Gulf Coast of Mexico, and the only Chinese-style ingredients they had in the whole town was soy sauce. Now, for a visitor, it's probably not a big deal. You're not really interested in getting Chinese food in Mexico anyway. But for a person that lives here and loves to cook different styles of food, it was a little bit frustrating. I actually had to import all of the ingredients I wanted from Mexico City. But that also just highlights the point that I just said, that you can find anything you want in Mexico City. It's pretty great. The seventh thing I love about Mexico City is the sheer volume of transportation options. If you live in Mexico City, a car is truly optional. which is wonderful. It saves you so much money when it comes to all of the expenses that go along with a car. And if you're from the United States like me, you know what I'm talking about. There's also just something really cool about being able to hop on a train, get to your destination in Mexico City, and not even have to worry about parking the car or making sure it's safe. It's very liberating to just be able to hop on and hop off. Transportation is also extremely affordable in Mexico City. Most tickets for any type of transportation, from the buses to the cable cars to the metro to the trolley bus, are going to cost you under $1 per ride. So this makes it among the cheapest transportation in the world. The 8th reason I love Mexico City is the healthcare. When it comes to healthcare, a lot of people in the US kind of freak out thinking, ooh, Mexican healthcare. But let me tell you, number one, it's very affordable even without insurance. And number two, you can get very high quality healthcare in Mexico. You have to do your research and make sure that you're getting a qualified doctor. But if you do, you can get some of the best care in the world. For example, I have relatives that have gotten very extensive surgeries from specialists for about $2,000, and that's without insurance. Personally, I got LASIK surgery a couple years ago from a well-known quality clinic for about $700. This takes away the enormous pressure and stress of the outrageous healthcare costs in the United States. Just a sidebar though, remember if you're traveling to Mexico, you should still have travel insurance. The 9th reason why I love Mexico City is the people. Mexican people are typically very warm and hospitable, and they love to just kind of take you into their family, take you into their arms, and welcome you into their culture. I find generally Mexicans are especially loving to foreigners. And if you really want the royal treatment, you should go to a small town in Mexico. They'll absolutely adore you. Did you know that I teach kids Spanish classes on OutSchool? Check out my classes on outschool.com/teachers/Senora Sarah, or go down to the description box below and click on the link. The 10th reason why I love Mexico City is the history. Mexico City's history goes back centuries, and there's actually more than one civilization that has been here. There are relics of the past from the various civilizations everywhere. For example, it's not uncommon to sit and have your breakfast in a 300-year-old building. That's a really unique experience that you don't always get back home in the United States. Do you want to see some of those must-see historical places in Mexico City? Check out some of the other videos on my playlist about traveling Mexico City, and make sure you subscribe. Nos vemos!